If you're applying to a Master in Public Policy program this year, you probably have a million questions going through your mind. And trust me, you're not the only one. In fact, I get tons of questions every year about MPP programs, and today I decided to answer the most frequently asked ones. Trust me, by the end of this video, you'll feel much more confident about your application. Ready? Let's go. Let's be honest, Masters in Public Policy programs are highly competitive, especially the ones with really strong reputation like Harvard, Princeton, or the University of Chicago. But just how competitive are they? Well, most top programs usually accept less than 20% of their applicants, and sometimes even fewer. Why are they so competitive? Well, it has to do with the fact that MPP programs are a great opportunity for you to really work on your leadership and grow in your career in the field of public policy, which makes them really sought after. An additional factor has to do with they also draw applicants from all over the world. So as an applicant, you're not only competing with people from your own country, but you are competing at the global level, which really raises the bar. So how do you stay competitive? In my opinion, it's by really understanding that what you need to do as an applicant is stand out. So the first way that you can do this is really put emphasis on what makes you stand out in terms of experience. So if you have experience in tech and environmental science, in international development, I would definitely focus on that, knowing that most MPP applicants have a tendency to want to fit a preconceived notion that they have of what an MPP applicant looks like, and that ends up making them sound like anybody else. So you should really focus on what makes you stand out from others throughout your application. Another great way that you can stay competitive is making every piece of your application count. As you'll see, MPP applications involve a lot of pieces, essays, resumes, letters of recommendation, etc., etc. Each piece needs to be top notch. So you should devote a substantial amount of time to crafting all these pieces of your application to make sure that you come on strong and that you increase your chance of getting admitted into your target program. Another great way for you to stand out is to showcase your commitment to public policy. It sounds obvious, but schools are looking for people who are driven to make a difference. If you can demonstrate a long-standing passion for addressing societal challenges, either through your work, your volunteering, or your activism, this is a great way for you to set yourself apart from other applicants. Okay, now let's talk about the requirements to apply to MPP programs. The first thing to note is that these requirements vary greatly from one school to another, so it's really important for you to go back to each website and to look in detail at what will be required from you. The core component of the application will be a resume, letters of recommendation, obviously your transcripts, and a statement of purpose. In addition to that, some other programs might have additional requirements in terms of essays. The Harvard Kennedy School, for example, has a different set of essays that need to be filled out by applicants. Princeton, for example, requires a policy memo, and other programs require a personal statement. So as you work on your application strategy, it's really important to take into consideration all the different pieces involved because they might vary a lot from one school to another. In addition to that, each program will also have prerequisites. So there are some programs that require you to have a statistics class or an economics class. Others are focused on your work experience. So there's programs that are more focused on people who are in mid-career. Others are more geared towards people who are just starting their career. So it's important to take a look at this information. Leadership is also very important with some programs. So you really want to look at each program, take an in-depth assessment of your own profile, and see if you fit with all these programs. It's pointless to apply to a program if the fit is just not there. Now let's talk about one of the components that really raises a lot of questions for applicants. It's the GRE. During COVID, a lot of schools made the GRE either optional or not required. But ever since then, the GRE has reappeared in some programs, and this requirement might vary from program to program. So I get a series of questions surrounding this question of the GRE. Let's tackle first the programs that require you to submit a score. I get a lot of questions from applicants who ask me, well, is it really important? Will the score that I get in my GRE matter a lot? If you are applying to really high level programs who receive a lot of different applicants, they will be in a position to be finicky about GPAs and GRE scores. So it might carry a lot of weight depending on the reputation of the program. I also get a lot of questions about the ideal score. So, what is a great score to apply to Harvard, et cetera, et cetera? Well, there are two things to consider as you look at your GRE score. I think the first thing that you need to do is to actually go back to each program and try to find the average GRE score of the current cohort or previous cohorts. So if your GRE score is equal or higher, well, you're in a good position and you should definitely move forward with the application. If your GRE is a little under, then it's going to be a matter of what other parts of your application can offset this GRE score. So in this particular situation, it's really important to take an in-depth look at your own profile and to see if there are any other parts of your applications that can offset a GRE that is so-so or just barely under the average. It's not the end of the world to not have the perfect GRE. It can definitely be offset by strong research experience, really outstanding professional experience, or really strong grades or letters of recommendation. So it's really a case by case there, but it's really important to be realistic as you consider the role of the GRE in your application. It's not the end all be all, but it carries a lot of weight. Now let's talk about people who are wondering if they should take the GRE or not. If it's optional, should you take it? Should you not take it? What should you do? Well, it's important again to look at your own profile. So if you identify any type of weaknesses, especially regarding your GPA, or if you feel that your work experience is a little lacking compared to others, it might be a great idea to take the GRE to demonstrate either your current academic skills in comparison to how well you did in the past during your undergraduate studies, for example, or to offset having limited work experience. It can really carry a lot of weight. If it's a really strong score, it can increase your chances of getting admitted. If you have a very strong profile, you might also want to take the test, considering that it could be an added bonus to your application. Obviously, if you have the time and the energy to go through the test preparation, I suggest taking the test to see where you score. You might score really high, and it might be a great added bonus to your applications. So in the case of programs where GREs are optional, it will depend on where you are and how you look as an applicant. Speaking of scores, the GPA is also a concern for many applicants. And again, it's really important for you to go back to each website and to look at the average GPA of people who are in the program. It's a great way to gauge if you should move forward with the application or not. If you're equal or over, of course, you should move forward with the application. If it's a little under, then we need to start thinking about other parts of your applications that could offset this weakness. It's not the end of the world to have a low GPA. It can definitely be managed, but again, it should be done in a realistic manner, considering that these programs are highly competitive. By the way, if you have more specific questions about the GRE and the GPA, I am providing you with 2 links to specific videos in which I go in depth into all these questions. So I highly encourage you to check them out. If you want more information as far as how to assess your own profile as an applicant to MPP programs. Another series of questions I get has to do with work experience. Some people feel that they don't have enough. Other people are wondering if their current work experience blends in well with what MPP programs are requiring. It's important to take into consideration that work experience can also be offset by other parts of your application. So if you have substantial research experience, for example, that can make a radical difference. If you've done a lot of high impact volunteering, that could offset work experience that is less than desirable. Internship as well can carry a lot of weight if they are relevant to public policy. So There are many things to look at when you look at your professional experience. And it's really important to look at every aspect of this experience and to have a great way to present it to admissions committees in your resume. Finally, I also get a lot of questions regarding letters of recommendation. Let's be frank, we're talking about a program there that is geared toward professional growth. And a lot of people who are applying to MPP programs have been working for quite some time and they don't know who to ask. Should it be from a professor or should it be professional? Well, the first thing to say is having a letter from a professor can really work for you. Obviously, admissions committees, when they look at an applicant, want evidence that they're going to be able to be successful in the classroom, that they'll get good grades, that they engage well in a classroom environment. And having a testimonial from a professor is definitely going to carry a lot of weight. The additional bonus of having these types of letters is that professors know exactly how to write these letters and to provide admissions committees with the right type of information. If you are in a situation where you can't have access to academic letters, it is perfectly fine to have letters of recommendation from people who work with you. The only advice that I would have for you is that you should be a bit more hands-on when you approach your recommenders in providing them with all the tools they need to write the perfect letter for graduate admissions. Your recommenders might not be very familiar with writing these types of letters. They might be familiar with writing letters for job opportunities, but they might not know exactly what to talk about in each letter. So it's really important for you to provide them with all the information they need and to make yourself available to them in helping them crafting a letter of recommendation that is going to resonate with admissions committees. Another question I also get is who should I ask in terms of ranking, especially professionally? You might know people who are highly ranked with big names and big companies that know you a little, and you might also have people who might not be as highly ranked, but who know you very well. In my own opinion, you want somebody that can talk about your skills, your commitment to public policy, your ability to conduct analysis, your overall personality. You want somebody who's going to be also able to substantiate what they're talking about in terms of your overall profile and skills and provide concrete examples of your ability to be a leader, to work in teams, etc., etc. You should focus on people who know you very well instead of focusing on people who might have a glitzier title attached to their name. By the way, if you are in the process of applying to grad school and you're feeling overwhelmed, I know there are a lot of pieces involved. I highly encourage you to check out my graduate school application timeline that I've created to help you with the application process. You can download it on your phone, upload it on your computer. It's a great way for you to make sure that you take the right steps at the right moment. And the good news about this timeline is that it's completely free. So don't hesitate to download it. I have included a link in the description box of this video. So now let's talk about what admissions committees are looking for. Well, before we even start, it's important to understand the perspective of admissions committees. When they look at applicants, they are looking to build a class. They want people who are coming from different backgrounds, will have different sets of perspectives. So as you build your application, do not try to underplay any aspect of your profile that you feel might stand out from others. You should capitalize on this, as I've mentioned previously. In my opinion, this is the best way to increase your chances of getting admitted into a top program. As I've mentioned before, they obviously are going to look at your commitment to public policy. So it's one thing to say that you're passionate about making a difference, but you also want to demonstrate throughout your application that you've already made an impact or taking the steps to make a significant impact on the world around you. Show them concrete examples that prove that you are serious about making a difference. Leadership potential is also very important. Most of these programs are designed to shape the future leaders of tomorrow. And so you really want to highlight as much as you can your experience as a leader, whether you were leading a team, leading a project, your ability to inspire others. Again, you want to provide clear evidence of your ability to take the lead in a variety of situations. It doesn't necessarily has to be professional. You don't necessarily have to have been the president of each club you've ever been in. It's all about highlighting your ability to take initiatives. You really want to show your ability to lead others, to work with others, and to also inspire them. So if you can highlight that throughout your application, it is definitely a way for you to score extra points. Finally, analytical skills are a big part of what you'll be doing in a public policy program. So it's really important for you to demonstrate your experience with quantitative analysis. So if you have any experience diving deep into data, analyzing it, providing results, drawing conclusions from this analysis, this is definitely a plus for you. If you've taken coursework in statistics, economics, or if you've worked on projects involving data analysis, you should definitely highlight that as much as you can throughout your application. Another set of questions that I receive usually involve the statement of purpose. And it's really important to understand that the statement of purpose is probably the heart of your application for an MPP program. And you should really put a lot of work on this piece of your application, mainly because this is oftentimes the first thing that admissions committees look at when they receive applications. They usually scan through it and decide if they will follow through with the rest of the application or not. So you definitely do not want to provide them with a statement of purpose that is confusing or that is not conveying the right information to them. It can dramatically impact your application. So what should you write about in your statement of purpose? Well, your statement of purpose should be doing two things: explaining to them why you want to pursue this degree and why you picked this specific school. You really need to justify your commitment to public policy. And it is one thing, as I said, to say that you're passionate about it, but you want to provide them with concrete evidence of your achievements and skills in this field. Show, don't tell is definitely a motto that you should hold on to as you work on your statement of purpose. Another really important concern for admissions committees is going to be your ability to be successful post graduation. A lot of these MPP programs' reputation rely on their ability to get you a great job and to put you in really important positions of leadership in the future. And one of their main concern is your sense of direction professionally. It's really important for you to provide concrete evidence of what you want to do post graduation, when you will graduate, what type of positions will you be seeking, where would you like to work. So it's important to be as concrete as possible. You should also provide them with an idea of what you want to do in the long term, 10 to 15 years after graduation. You really want to come strong there with a clear sense of direction so that they don't have any doubt about taking you into their program. So career goals are extremely important. The other main function of your statement of purpose is to justify why you picked this specific program. And the last thing that you want to do is send the same statement of purpose to all programs. This is the best way to get discarded by admissions committees. They usually can smell from a mile away someone who is applying to Harvard or Princeton just because of their reputation. You want to be extra specific about the reasons why you picked this program. And for this, you need to conduct research on the program's curriculum, its activities, its key strengths, and you want to align these strengths with your profile and what you want to get out of the program professionally and personally. So stay away from sending a statement of purpose that basically just says, I want to go to this program because of the great faculty or the great courses. You want to name courses, professors. You want to be as specific as possible to really make a convincing case for yourself and convince them that you are applying to the program for all the right reasons. Finally, I receive a lot of questions surrounding the resume. How long should it be? What should it contain? Etc., etc. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record here, but you should go back to each website to make sure that you will provide a resume that is in line with what they're requiring. There might be a few variations here and there, and you definitely want to tweak your resume for each program. But in general, what you should keep in mind as you approach your applications to MPP programs is that your resume should not be the same as the one that you have right now that's probably lying at the bottom of a drawer that you use to apply for a job. The resume in the context of admissions fulfill a radically different function, and it's important that you tweak the resume that you already have to make sure that it delivers all the information that admissions committees are looking for. And what are they looking for? They're looking for evidence of leadership, ability to work with others, and especially the impact that you have had in your line of work. So instead of building a resume that's going to just describe what you have done in the past, you want to list your achievements. And then you also want to show admissions committees in each function that you've held in the past, how the work that you've done has had in terms of impact on the overall organization. And you want to measure it in terms of scope, whether it's money, whether it's increasing profit or decreasing time to perform a certain task. You really want to be extra specific there. You really want to demonstrate leadership, as I said, your ability to work with others, because obviously you'll be working with other people in the context of the classroom. You'll be required to exchange ideas, etc., etc. Obviously, the analytical skills I was talking about a little earlier should be highlighted as much as you can. So my last advice for you is to spend some time on your resume. And if you are in the early stages of the application process, I usually suggest to people working on their resume first and kind of use it as the basis of the rest of their application. So once you will have listed your achievements, your impact, etc., then you should move forward with the admissions essays or the statement of purpose. In the context of admissions, these two pieces, the resume and the essays, should complement each other. And you should avoid repeating information that can be found in your resume in your essays and vice versa. So you really want to build an application that really shows the various facets of your profile. And in my opinion, if you are early in the stages, start working on your resume and then move forward with the essays, which should be more about your inner motivation, as we've talked about previously, your drive to make a difference, etc., etc. Well, that's all, folks. I hope this video was really helpful in answering a lot of the questions you might have about applying to Masters in Public Policy programs. As you can see, it's quite an endeavor. It's quite a lot of work. But if you are systematic about it and you have a strong strategy, I can definitely tell you that you have great chances of getting admitted into your target program. If you have more questions about the resume, I have a video here where I go in depth on how to tweak your professional resume for admissions. So I highly encourage you to take a look at it. It might be helpful. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I will be providing you with more videos related to applying to grad school or surviving in grad school. And again, thanks for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one.